Tips 2 is a great venue for businesses to get to know other chamber members. There are small businesses here, large businesses here as well. We welcome all chamber members. The basis of the tips group is you have to have a non-competing industry. The goal will be to come and pass referrals to other chamber members and enhance their business. So for your industry, hopefully you'll see an influx in dollars coming in by the referrals and the network connections that you meet here. The group is averaged anywhere from 20 to 40 individuals, business members. Everybody gets a 1 to 2 minute presentation of their industry where they're able to talk about what they do and what type of referral they're looking for. We also have some type of spotlight, if you want to use that term, where somebody will present to the group about their industry. We've had guest speakers that will come in and talk to the group about industry items that are going on, whether it be the healthcare issue that's going on. We may have a guest speaker come in who's knowledgeable about that. The express lanes that are ongoing here in Tysons Corner, the metro, we may have somebody come in and do a guest speaking presentation on that. Some team building exercise. We did a great exercise a couple weeks ago here that the group loved called the Marshmallow Challenge, a great way for everybody to meet new members and network. So the format is one that will always change in terms of opportunity to network with new members here at the Chamber, but you will get that opportunity to speak about what you do and what type of referral you're looking for.
How does the development in Tysons Corner benefit what you're doing from a marketing standpoint for Fairfax County?
Well, Tysons Corner has always been our downtown, but if you go outside of 100 miles from this area, nobody has ever heard of Tysons Corner before. And it even has a sort of a rural sound to it. So as a business community with over 100,000 jobs and ultimately over 100,000 residents, it is our downtown. It needs to acquire that image, and it ultimately will. So that helps, by extension, it helps Fairfax County's image as well.
Mm-hmm. Now there's is it a 30 or 40-year plan for Tysons Corner?
Yes, one of those.
One of those.
It's unclear.
It's pretty far out there.
It is.
How does that affect your ability to bring business to this area?
You know, it gives us more options because even though it's our downtown, the densities were not what you would normally find in a downtown. And the heights of buildings were capped at 16, 17 stories for the most part. And so you have a lot of corporate headquarters and a lot of employees in major corporations, but you don't have the feel or the image of a downtown, which it needs to have. And above all, it never had the metro.
Yeah.
Find me a major business market in the United States that doesn't have rail access to the core city or to the airport. Mm-hmm. So that really makes it makes us world class.
Do you have businesses existing in Fairfax County that are clamoring to move into Tysons Corner once Metro is built? And is that preventing you from bringing in businesses from outside of Fairfax County?
You know, it was I had the opposite concern when we first became clear what the 5-year period of construction for both the HOT lanes and the metro were going to be, and all the discombobulation. And I thought, we better look at the people who have leases here. Are they going to be leaving during the course of this? So we checked with other communities where they'd had similar magnitude projects. So the Big Dig in Boston and Denver and Phoenix, and they all said the same thing, and it's exactly what happened. People will gripe and complain and tell you they're going to leave, and nobody leaves. In fact, people will start coming in, and they have. SAIC during this period brought its corporate headquarters in from California, and many others have come into Tysons. And what the sense is that if you can sort of make it through that period of construction, right now you're going to make a good deal on real estate. And then you're sitting on top of, you're in the main part of downtown Fairfax County, sitting on top of a metro station, or several metro stations, with all the amenities that are being planned for it. It's an opportunity. So no, we haven't seen anybody leave, certainly not in big numbers.
Yeah, and how about outside of Fairfax County, like Loudoun and Arlington? You know, we'll have Metro out to Dulles. How is that affecting nearby jurisdictions that don't yet have business in Fairfax County?
Yeah, I think not so much Loudoun or Prince William, although Loudoun ultimately will get the metro at least out to its border at the airport. And that will help their residents come into Fairfax County to get the jobs. Whether or not it helps Loudoun attract businesses remains to be seen. It depends how far into Loudoun County the metro goes. But it will affect Arlington, I think, because heretofore Arlington was really the last markets you could reach by metro, and now that's no longer the case. So Tysons becomes a big competitor for Arlington in that sense.
Yeah, I guess our metro region is going to be wider once metro goes out to Dulles, because there'll be companies willing to move a little bit further outside of the DC area. Will real estate be better further out that they go, or won't it matter after the metro is out that way?
I think it will. It'll be better. You see the values go back up when the economy levels out, and because of the metro, because of the access that it provides, I think land values will increase. Housing values within proximity to, a few miles from the metro stations will go up as well.
What do you say to small businesses that could feel threatened by bigger business coming in, offering the same services, but maybe not with the same hand-holding and personal attention because they're bigger? What do you say to those small businesses?
Well, two things. First of all, I would tell a small business that a lot of larger businesses want to procure their services from a small company that's nimble, that's responsive, doesn't have layers of authority to review things, can be more flexible on pricing and so forth. Again, different people have different preferences, and so a lot of companies will go to the smaller businesses. A lot of those companies came from being smaller businesses, so they understand the abilities that they have. And the second thing I would say is that as one of the best things we can do for small businesses in Fairfax County is to bring in the big business, because not only do residents have a chance for the jobs in those companies, but the small companies in Fairfax County have the opportunity to provide goods and services under contract to those businesses. So as Tysons grows and attracts large companies, companies in Vienna are going to have an opportunity to provide goods and services under contract. Restaurants are going to benefit, insurance providers will benefit, the whole array of small businesses.
Now, does the EDA offer any sort of support to small businesses?
We offer workshops, how you start a business, how you grow a business, how can you connect to financing, whether it's angel investment or even ultimately venture capital or commercial investment. What kinds of things do you need to know about the state? If you're a woman or a minority-owned business, what opportunity, or a veteran, disabled veteran business, or any of the other businesses for which there are preferences, how do you get certified to work and get those benefits?
Wow, those are all free workshops?
These are all free. Everything that we provide is free of charge. We're publicly funded, and the Board of Supervisors provides that funding so that we can do those things for our businesses.
And so how do small businesses learn about these programs that you offer?
Well, we have a very extensive website, which not only has information about what's happening in the community, but also about our workshops and our other services, news flashes, a wealth of data, market data that's valuable to companies. It's all downloadable. The URL is www.fairfaxcountyeda.org.
Okay. Now, I said small businesses, but it's not necessarily just for small businesses.
That's correct.
It's for any business that would like some support, and it's free to any of those businesses.
Anyone, and to individuals. We have a lot of workshops now for people who are leaving federal service, that may be retiring, or gee, let's try to create a company. We have a lot of new Americans who come in and want to create businesses here. It's the American dream. Yeah. And we help them learn those things as well.
Oh, that's great. And a newsletter, right?
And a newsletter called the eBird, which is spectacular.
I've seen it. It is. I love to read it.
Well, not only is it provided in a sort of a lighthearted way, but it saves people who receive it. And you can get this by go online at our URL, www.fairfaxcountyeda.org, and sign up for it. But it saves you going through 20 or 30 relevant business publications to find information that might be useful to you, or what's happening in the county, because it's all there for you.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. I want to switch gears a little bit again and just talk about defense contractors in Fairfax County. Have received a lot of business here. They're abundant, but that may change.
It may indeed, yes.
And so how does that affect Fairfax County, and how does it affect what you do?
Well, first of all, I think Fairfax County is a little bit less dependent upon federal contracting that may be cut or reduced as a result of sequestration than perhaps the Arlington, for example, or Washington, D.C. We still will be affected. Our companies will have budget cuts and contract losses and job cuts, perhaps. Yeah. However, they have seen this coming for several years. Okay. The good news is that what we provide to the federal government, we are contractors, provide to the federal government under contract, is largely IT services and telecom services and software. We don't make things. So every time there's been cutbacks in the past in defense contracting, for example, we actually increased our contracting dollars in total because we don't make tanks, which are cut, or airplanes, or ships. Okay. So the kinds of things that we do are transferable to other things. IT is transferable, for example, to things like personalized medicine and bio-IT healthcare. Yeah.
Well, that leads me to another question, and that's what new industries are you trying to attract to Fairfax County? What are some of those?
That's the perfect segue, because personalized medicine just excites me no end. And this is everything I know about personalized medicine in 3 sentences or more. They can take a drop of your blood and print out your genetic code, which is 6 billion characters long. It's only 4 characters, but in a 6 billion character sequence that is unique to you. It's like your fingerprint. So even if you're a twin, it's completely distinct. And researchers can now read that genetic code and say you have a genetic predisposition for the following diseases, and therefore here's how you should be medicated, here's surgeries you need, here's what you should eat, here's where you should live, here's how you should exercise, either to avoid or push off in time or minimize the impact of those illnesses and diseases. And that's sort of phase 1. Phase 2 is they can say, and they're working on this in various places, I had this explained to me, Mrs. Johnson, your child has a predisposition to breast cancer before it's born.
Oh my.
And not only that, we know the cells from which it's going to emanate, and we're going to remove those genes, those cells. And so when your child is actually born, she will no longer have that predisposition. Oh, I mean, it's sort of extraordinary stuff. And as you can imagine, because it's reading a 6 billion character code, this doesn't require laboratory experimentation. This is IT based.
Wow.
We are the IT hub. And that's the new industry we're going to grow.
Very exciting.
It is very exciting.
How far do you see that away from today?
We're working on it now.
Okay.
We're introducing various components of it. Inova Hospital System has brought over a gentleman who was the former director of the National Cancer Institute at NIH. His name is John Niederhuber. And Dr. Niederhuber has created, with Inova's support, an institute for personalized medicine. And it's not quite 2 years old, but there are about 40 researchers in it already. Wow. And they expect to go up to about 200 researchers in 5 years. So it's begun.
That is very exciting. Talk about taking control of your life.
Exactly.
Knowing what to expect and then doing something about it ahead of time. Wow.
Precisely.
Now, is that industry predominant anywhere else, or will we in Fairfax County be the first?
No, there are Boston, the obvious examples, Boston and Northern California have been working on this for some time, but there are some secondary markets as well. Phoenix, because of Arizona State University, in Pittsburgh at Carnegie Mellon, and Kansas City at the Stowers Institute. So we're playing catch up a little bit, but we're going to be part of this.
That's very exciting, and that brings new jobs, lots of new jobs.
Lots of new jobs.
And if one industry lets go of employees, then this is a match in terms of those skills.
Exactly. The IT skills that we had been providing to the federal government, these are the same skills applied to a different area, many of the same skills.
Thank you for joining us today on Vienna Tysons TV. We'll see you next month.